Om Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of the 16th of November 2023. Essence. Sweet children, the Bharat that was like a diamond has become poverty-stricken by becoming impure. You now have to make it as pure as a diamond once again. You have to plant the sapling of the sweet deity tree. Question: what are the Father's tasks in which children have to become his helpers? Answer: to establish the deity government over the whole world, to destroy the innumerable religions and establish the one true religion are the Father's tasks. You children have to become helpers in these tasks. Make effort to claim a high status. Don't think that you will go to heaven anyway. Song: you are the mother and you are the father. Om Shanti. People of the world sing, you are the mother and you are the father, but they don't know to whom they are referring. This is also something wonderful. They simply say this for the sake of saying it. It is truly in your intellects who this mother and father is. He is the resident of the supreme abode. There is only one supreme abode. The golden age cannot be called the supreme abode. The golden age is here, whereas we are all the ones who reside in the supreme abode. You souls know that you came from the supreme abode, the land of nirvana, to this corporeal world. Heaven is not up above. You come from the supreme abode. You children now know that you souls are playing your parts through your bodies. You now know how many births you take and how you play your parts. That one is the resident of the faraway land and has to come to this foreign land. Why is it called a foreign land? You come to Bharat, do you not? However, first of all you go to heaven, which is established by the Father, and then that becomes hell, the kingdom of Ravan. There are innumerable religions and innumerable governments. Then the Father comes and creates the one kingdom. Now there are many governments. They all continue to say that they should unite and become one. How could all of them be united and become one? 5,000 years ago there was one government in Bharat. It was the world almighty authority of Lakshmi and Narayan. There is no other authority that can rule the world. All the religions cannot come into one religion. There was just the one government in heaven, and this is why they say that all should become one. The Father says, I now inspire the destruction of the others, and I establish the one original eternal deity government. You too say, we are establishing the kingdom of the one deity government in Bharat according to the directions of the world almighty authority, the one with all powers. There cannot be one government anywhere apart from the deity government. 5,000 years ago there was the one deity government in Bharat, that is, in the whole world. The Father has now come once again to establish the deity government in the world once again. We children are his helpers. This secret is mentioned in the Gita. This is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra. The incorporeal one is called Rudra. Krishna cannot be called that. The name Rudra is that of the incorporeal one. By hearing many names, people think that Rudra is separate from Somnath. So the one deity government now has to be established. Don't become happy on thinking that you will go to heaven anyway. Look how people beat their heads so much for a status in hell. First, they receive a status, and second, they earn a lot of money. There has to be one God for the devotees, otherwise they would be wandering around. Here they call everyone God. They consider many to be incarnations. The Father says, I only come once. They sing, O purifier, come. The whole world is impure, and in that Bharat is the most impure. Bharat is poverty-stricken, but Bharat was like a diamond. You are to receive a kingdom in the new world. The Father explains that Krishna cannot be called God. Only the one incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is beyond birth and death, can be called God. People say, He is God and I am God. We have come here simply to enjoy ourselves. They remain very intoxicated. Wherever I look, I only see you. This is all your wonder. I am you and you are me. They simply continue to dance and they have thousands of followers. The Father says, devotees continue to pray to God. On the path of devotion, they worship God with a lot of devotional feeling. Baba says, I grant them visions, but they don't meet me. I am the creator of heaven. It isn't that I give them the inheritance of heaven. There is only the one God. The Father says, after taking rebirth, everyone has now become weak. I have now come from the supreme abode. I don't enter the heaven that I establish. Many people say that they do altruistic service, but whether they want it or not, they definitely do receive the fruit of what they do. They make donations, and so they definitely receive the fruit of that. You became wealthy because you made donations and performed charity in the past. You are now making effort. The more effort you make, the higher the status you will claim in the future. You are now being taught to perform good actions for your future many births. People do that for their next birth. They also say that that is the fruit of their past actions. You would not say this in the golden and silver ages. The fruit of your actions for 21 births is being prepared now. The reward of the efforts of the confluence age continues for 21 generations. Sannyasis cannot say that they are creating such a reward for you that you will remain happy for 21 births. God has to give good or bad fruit. So they have made just the one mistake in which they have lengthened the duration of the cycle. There are many who say that the cycle is 5,000 years. A Muslim came to you and said that the duration of the cycle really is 5,000 years. He would have heard the things that we speak of here. The pictures go everywhere, but not everyone would believe this. You know that this is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra, through which the flames of destruction emerged. Easy Raja Yoga is taught here. The Krishna soul is now in his final birth and is receiving his inheritance from Shiva, Rudra. He is sitting here. Baba is separate from this one. When they feed a Brahmin priest and invoke a soul, that soul then enters the body of the Brahmin priest and speaks. People especially go on pilgrimages and invoke souls. That soul has been gone for so long, so how does he come? What happens? The soul says, I am very happy. I have taken birth in such and such a home. What happens there? Is it that the soul left that place and came here? The Father explains, I give them the fruit of their devotion and they become happy. This too is a secret in the drama. They speak, and so that part continues. If someone doesn't speak, it is because it is not fixed. Stay in the remembrance of the Father and your sins will be absolved. There is no other way. Everyone has to go through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. The Father says, I make you into the masters of the new world. I have once again come from the supreme abode into this old world and entered an old body. This one was worthy of worship. He became a worshipper and is now becoming worthy of worship again. The same applies to you. I also make you the same. This one is the number one effort maker. This is why you say, Mateshwari Pitashri. The Father also says, make effort to be seated on the throne. This Jagadamba fulfills everyone's desires. Since there is the mother, there must also be the father and the children too. You show everyone the path. All your desires are fulfilled in the Golden Age. Baba says, if, while living at home, you have full yoga, you can claim a status higher than that of those who live here. There are many who are in bondage. Last night, Baba explained to the Home Minister that a solution should be found for this so that weak ones are not assaulted. However, they would only think about this when they hear it 2 or 4 times. They will accept this if it is in their fortune. This knowledge is very slippery. If those of the Sikh religion were to know this, they would understand the verse, it didn't take long to create deities from human beings. Who did that? They sing his praise. The incorporeal is only one, the one whose name is the truth, the immortal image. The Brahma element is his throne. They say, leave your throne and come here. The Father sits here and explains to you. He knows the beginning, middle and end of the whole world. It isn't that he knows what is in the heart of each one. People remember God in order for him to take them into salvation. Baba says, I am establishing the World Almighty Deity government. All of those partitions that have taken place will be removed. The sapling of those who belong to our deity religion has to be planted. The tree is very big. The sweetest among it are the deities. Their sapling has to be planted. Those of the other innumerable religions who come do not plant saplings. Acha. Today it is the day of the Sat Guru. The Father says, children, follow Srimat and become pure, and I will take you back with me. Then, whether you become a velvet queen or a silk queen, if you want to claim the inheritance, follow my directions. It is only by having remembrance that you will become pure from impure. Acha. Love, remembrance and salutations from Bap Dada and Sweet Mama to the long-lost and now-found children. Essence Vedana. 1. The reward of the efforts you make at the confluence age is to last for 21 births. Perform elevated deeds while keeping this in your awareness. Create your reward by donating knowledge. 2. The sapling of the sweet deity tree is being planted. Therefore become extremely sweet. Blessing. May you serve as a detached observer while keeping the speciality and uniqueness of your Brahmin birth in your awareness. This Brahmin birth is a divine birth. Ordinary souls celebrate their birthdays, marriage day, Friends' Day separately, but your birthday, marriage day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Engagement Day are all the same because all of you have promised to belong to the one Father and none other. So play your part in doing service while keeping the speciality and uniqueness of this birth in your awareness. Be companions of others in doing service, but be a companion while remaining a detached observer. Let there not be the slightest subservience to anyone. Slogan: A carefree emperor is one who has a balance of humility and authority in his life. Om Shanti. Elevated versions of Mateshwari. The difference between souls and the Supreme Soul. Souls and the Supreme Soul remained separated for a long time, and a beautiful meeting took place when souls found the Sat Guru in the form of an agent. We say these words, and their accurate meaning is that souls have been separated from the Supreme Soul for a long time. A long time means that the souls became separated from the Supreme Soul a long time ago, and so these words prove that souls and the Supreme Soul are separate entities. There is a basic difference between the two, but because people of the world do not recognize him, they take these words to mean, I, the soul, am the Supreme Soul. Because souls are influenced by Maya, They have forgotten their original form. When the influence of Maya is removed, souls become like the Supreme Soul. So they consider souls to be separate in that way. Then there are other people who say, I, the soul, am God. But because souls have forgotten themselves, they have become unhappy, and so when a soul recognizes himself and becomes pure, that soul then merges into the Supreme Soul and becomes one. So they say that each soul is separate in that way. However, we know that each soul and the Supreme Soul are separate entities. Neither can a soul become God, nor can a soul merge into the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Soul cannot be influenced, covered in any way.